Here's the top stories for November 14th. An ex-DPWH official exposes more detailed corruption in flood control probe. More aid pours in as the Philippines recovers from recent typhoons. President Marcos hails ASEAN extradition pact as a defining moment for regional justice. A House bill will provide 5,000 pesos annual allowance to students in all levels. PAGASA says the Philippines may remain cyclone-free over the coming week. The Devil Wears Prada sequel unveils its first teaser. A retired official of the Department of Public Works and Highways turned emotional when he testified before the Senate's investigation on the anomalies surrounding the government's flood control project, implicating former and incumbent lawmakers, DPWH officials, and other personalities in the mess. Bernardo, a former DPWH undersecretary and a resident of Malolos City, Bulacan, in his testimony before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Friday, November 14th, also admitted to receiving kickbacks when he named several politicians allegedly involved in the anomalous infrastructure projects, having worked for the agency for decades. Though their names have already been mentioned previously by other witnesses in the same hearing, Bernardo, in his own testimony, implicated in the flood control mess former Senators Ramon Bong Revilla Jr., Nancy Binay, Grace Poe, and former Representatives Mary Mitzi, Mitch Cahayon-Uy, Zaldi Ko, Florida Robes, and former Undersecretary Tri-Give Olivar of the Department of Education. The international community has stepped up support for the Philippines' relief and recovery efforts following the destruction caused by typhoons Tino and Uwan, with the European Union, New Zealand, and the United States mobilizing new humanitarian aid packages and military assistance. The European Union announced on Friday, November 14th, the release of 1.25 million euros, or approximately 85 million pesos, in humanitarian aid to help the most affected communities, particularly in Cebu, which was hit by both typhoons and a recent major earthquake. New Zealand's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade likewise announced 750,000 New Zealand dollars, or 26 million pesos, in humanitarian assistance for communities affected by the typhoons and the Cebu earthquake. The United States, meanwhile, deployed military personnel and assets to assist the Philippine government's disaster response operations, following Manila's request for foreign disaster relief support. President Marcos said the signing of the ASEAN extradition treaty marks a defining moment for Southeast Asia's legal cooperation, as he opened the 13th ASEAN Law Ministers meeting in Taguig City. Speaking before regional law chiefs on Friday, November 14th, Marcos said the treaty reflects the Association of Southeast Asian Nations' united resolve to ensure that individuals with criminal charges will not escape justice by crossing borders in ASEAN. He said the agreement harmonizes long-standing principles in international extradition arrangements, from the surrender of fugitives and provisional arrests to documentation standards, dispute resolution mechanisms, and implementation processes. A Metro Manila congressman is eyeing a 5,000 pesos annual allowance for all qualified students enrolled in public and private schools, covering elementary, high school, and college. Not only that, but Parañaque City's 2nd District Representative Brian Raymond Yamsuan is also proposing a 10,000 pesos incentive for students who have excelled academically. Yamsuan's proposed stipends are provided for in House Bill No. 2657, which aims to equip Filipino students with the resources they need and to encourage them to stay in school and complete their education. House Bill No. 2657, or the proposed Baon para sa Estudyante Act, covers students in the elementary, junior, and senior high school and college levels enrolled in all public and private schools, including learners under the Alternative Learning System. After back-to-back typhoons, Filipinos can expect a brief respite as the country remains free from tropical cyclones over the coming week. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said. In its weather outlook for November 14th to 21st, PAGASA said the Intertropical Convergence Zone, Northeast Monsoon or Amihan, and shear line will be the dominant weather systems that will affect the country during the period. PAGASA said that no tropical cyclone is expected to enter or develop inside the Philippine area of responsibility during the outlook period. The Devil Wears Prada 2 unveiled its anticipated first teaser on Wednesday. Following up a beloved 2006 fashion world dramedy starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, all of whom are returning. The sequel is expected to examine high fashion magazine editor-in-chief Miranda Priestley's perspective as she faces the decline of the print industry, according to a report by Deadline.com. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is scheduled for release in theaters on May 1st, 2026. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.